Hello and welcome to my awesome health journey. And this is my weekly update. And the reason why I did a video yesterday talking about 50 yoga because this has been a great week for me. Probably my best week in a long freaking time. Because every day this week I did a full tread workout at Orange Theory. Full. I did everything. I didn't I think Monday I kind of took it easy because I just felt stiff like I always do. But like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and even today, other than the fact I actually skipped the last all out, which sucked because there are 3 all outs to go with a 30-second all out, 45-second recovery. And right when we start, I'm like, I need to pee. And then when I got to the first all out where I start the hardest, it turns out when you run the hardest you can, holding it in is harder. And like the last all out, I just thought to myself, you know what? I need to pee. And so I missed the last all out. But other than that, I did everything full, and that felt great. I was so proud of myself and happy for myself because I've been dealing with this hamstring issue since September. That's a long freaking time. That is, 8 months of dealing with this injury and pushing myself and not pushing myself. And by pushing myself, pretty much not pushing myself. And for a long time, ever since I think around December, end of November, I decided I'm just going to, slowly work up to it and not really push myself until I feel little to no pain in my hamstring. And that's been frustrating. Every benchmark that's happened, I felt really bad that I couldn't push myself and work. But there has been some benefits. For instance, my ankle has healed since that time. And, my ankle is healed, and I let go of the bar. But this is actually mostly about personal training. I've done personal training now for 3 weeks. And a lot of it, I talked about it last week about dead butt syndrome and that my butt was freaking weak. And the last couple of weeks, the personal trainer, physical therapist, whatever they call them, really had me emphasize going up a hill and engaging my butt and doing engaging butt exercises. And so the last 2 weeks, I've really worked on engaging my butt in all exercises. And the thing I learned the last 2 weeks is I don't engage my butt. I've spent a long time, this is my 4th year at Orange Theory, and I didn't realize how much I didn't engage, especially the sides of my butt. I always knew that part was kind of weak, but I didn't realize how much just how thorough and the scope of the issue with that, how that part being weak caused other parts of my body to work harder. For instance, doing lunges. I hate lunges because they're hard on my hamstrings and knees. Well, the thing is, if I use mostly my butt, they're a lot easier on my hamstrings and knees. So a lot of time I was just using my hamstrings and knees a little too much on my lunges. I should be using a little bit more butt. Same with squats. Same with anything with my lower body. So especially those things where you go to the side. They do a lot of side lunges. So my conclusion is, for my next year in working out and probably for the rest of my life, I need to think of myself as a 21-woman TikTok fitness influencer and work on my badonkadonk and try to get big gains on my gluteus maximus or whatever those, I forgot what they called those muscles were. Because my push forward is actually pretty decent. Like I can kick, but it's those kicks to the side and just the sides of my butt that's kind of weak. That comes from sitting. And that's what I do mostly. And I didn't really think about that because, again, my butt is decently strong when it comes to pushing off if I want to. But I just don't use it as much. I'm just not using something about it. And it also makes it so it's strong in the sense of it could do like a push, but sustainable effort is harder. Because I notice as I'm working on utilizing my butt more on my treadmill, my butt gets tired quicker because, those muscles just weren't firing as much. And it just, a couple weeks, because my body does put on strength pretty fast, I notice a huge difference. just from last week to this week even. Yeah, from last week to this week has been almost night and day, to be honest. I'm extremely happy with my workouts this week, especially on the treadmill. And I just need to continue to do it. I need to continue working on my butt, doing hip exercises, and just have to try to get that nice bun, that nice, just supple butt. Because without my supple butt, my knees are going to hurt. Because it's one thing that I've learned from I'm into science and stuff and like long explanations of like how things work, and learning how throw a football. A lot of that comes from your legs, because as you push off and twist and rotate, the energy like flows up from your body and gets into your arm, and you twist and you push, and all that part goes into the energy of like into the ball, so you can throw it farther. Actually, I'm a Dolphin fan, so I don't really like this guy. But Tom Brady is a perfect example of he was known for having a weak arm coming out of college. That's one reason why he went to the 6th round. And his arm wasn't that strong his first couple of years in the NFL. He was a weak armed quarterback, but the guy worked his freaking butt off and really got his legs and especially his hip rotation. He's famous for like throwing, like putting his other arm down to really push on the hips, so he can put all emphasis on throwing the ball, because the body just works in a way where one part helps another part that helps another part. It's like the whole. And a lot of times, especially like with my hamstring injury, I think I focused too much on like my hamstring and think it's like a hamstring issue, when really it was an entire body issue, which I kind of knew because I was working on my gait, trying to get my hips involved in walking, and holding onto the bar. I think also just put an emphasis on also not utilizing my butt as well, especially the sides of my butt, because I was holding onto the bar, and I think that probably made it so I didn't have to emphasize my butt when I walked, or my hips, or a lot of things. So especially when I started working on my gait while walking with holding on, and with my ankle hurting, I just put a lot more strain and use on my hamstring. That's my from what my physical therapist talked about, and just reading up on that and just thinking about how my body works. So overall, yes, I am really happy. I am going to work really hard on my butt. I'm going to be doing the butt, sexy. It's going to be nothing wrong if you want to do the butt all night long, because I need a strong, nice butt. I probably said butt in the last few minutes more than I've said butt in my entire life. Well, anyways, that's me talking about my butt. What's funny? In junior high, I wrestled my first wrestling match. I pinned this guy in like 10 seconds with a bear hug. And I forgot her name, but she spent a long time talking about my butt. And I actually got into a butt contest at one of our tournaments, where like me and I think it was Brian Robinette kept on having which one had a bigger butt, had the best butt. So I stand up and they're like, "Woo, look at that butt!" But I lost, because after the 3rd time, I just didn't want to stand up and have them hoot and holler at my butt, because I had social anxiety and I was getting kind of embarrassed, even though I did kind of like the intention of someone saying I'd have a nice butt. So that's my new Orange Theory yoga goal, is to have someone tell me I have a nice butt. I think that'd be sweet. Anyways, thank you for listening to my butt rant. I love you for who you are, and as always, you are worthy.